You know that simple bandage in your first aid kit? Turns out there's a ton of surprising science packed into it, the result of centuries of innovation. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on the humble wound dressing and reveal a whole world of healing technology. But first, let's start with a question I bet you've wondered about.
All right, let's just get right to it. You've heard this a million times, right? Get a cut or a scrape, and you should let it air out to form a good, hard scab. It's one of those pieces of advice that just feels true, but what if I told you it's kind of completely wrong?
Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with a quick history lesson, then uncover the biggest secret to healing faster. We'll build a checklist for the perfect dressing and take a tour of what's out there today. Then, things get interesting with a shocking study, and finally, we'll peek into the future of wound care.
You know, for most of human history, wound care was pretty rustic. We're talking whatever you could find, plant leaves, honey. Some people even use spider webs. The goal was super simple. Just stop the bleeding and keep dirt out. Well, today it's a whole different ballgame.
I mean, check this out. We've gone from a handful of folk remedies to, get this, over 3,000 different types of wound dressings available. That's just wild. It's not about just covering a wound anymore. This is about actively engineering the healing process with very specialized tools. So what changed? What was the big aha moment? Well, it all comes down to one key discovery.
And here it is. This is the big idea that totally flipped wound care on its head. That old wisdom about letting a wound air out and get all scabby? Yeah, turns out the exact opposite is true. The real secret to healing better and faster is to keep the wound moist. So why is moist better? Well, think of it this way. Your healing cells need to travel across the wound to repair it. A big, dry, crusty scab is like a giant mountain range blocking their path. But a moist environment, that's like a freshly paved superhighway. The cells can just zoom across and get the job done way faster. Plus, and this is a big one, it means the dressing doesn't stick, so it doesn't hurt nearly as much when you change it. And here's the real kicker. It actually leads to fewer infections than letting a wound dry out. Pretty crazy, right?
Okay, so we know moist is good. But how do you actually create that perfect healing environment? It's not as simple as just trapping some water in there. It turns out there's a whole checklist of things an ideal dressing has to get just right.
It's a real balancing act. A great dressing has to keep moisture in, but it also has to let oxygen in so your cells can breathe. It needs to soak up any excess fluid, but not so much that it dries the wound out. Of course, it has to be a fortress against outside bacteria. And it has to come off easily without ripping up all that new skin you've grown. And crucially, it has to be biocompatible. It can't be toxic to the very cells it's supposed to be helping.
So, the key to nailing this balance is a metric called the Moisture Vapor Transmission Rate, or MVTR. Think of it like the breathability rating on a rain jacket. This one number is maybe the most important factor in getting the moisture level just right. But as you'll see, it's a very fine line to walk.
And this really is the Goldilocks problem of wound care. If the dressing's MVTR is too high, if it's too breathable, the wound dries out. Too hard. Healing grinds to a halt. But if the MVTR is too low and it's not breathable enough, fluid builds up and everything gets soggy. Too soft. The skin around the wound breaks down and you basically create a warm, wet paradise for infection. The whole goal is to find a dressing that is just right.
So how does all this work in the real world? Well, doctors and nurses now have a whole toolbox of dressings, and each one is a specialized tool designed to solve a very specific moisture problem.
Now, you don't need to memorize this, but just check out the pattern. You've got things like hydrogels that actually donate moisture to a wound that's too dry. Then you've got the super soakers, like foams and alginates, that are designed for wounds with a lot of drainage. And then others, like hydrocolloids, are just there to maintain the balance. It's all about matching the right tool to the job. So, you get the science, you've looked at the wound, you've picked the perfect type of dressing with the right moisture properties. You're all set, right? Well, maybe not. There's a hidden factor here that's super important: biocompatibility. Are the materials in the dressing actually safe for your cells? A recent study decided to put this to the test. Researchers took 11 common, off-the-shelf wound dressings and put them in a dish with living human skin cells. The little worker cells called fibroblasts that are responsible for rebuilding tissue. The question was simple: do these dressings help the cells or do they hurt them? And the results were pretty stunning. This chart shows how many cells were still alive after 3 days. The control bar, at 100%, is normal growth. Now, some dressings were great. Look at Parapran.
It actually stimulated cell growth, pushing it up to 116%. But then, look at Cisperderm. It was highly cytotoxic. That means it was toxic to the cells. It didn't just fail to help, it actively killed 2/3 of the very cells needed for healing. Just wow.
The researchers themselves were very clear. They concluded that several of these widely used dressings, like Cispladerm and others, showed high cytotoxicity. In plain English, they were poisoning the very cells they were supposed to be protecting.
And that's the crucial takeaway here. A dressing can tick all the right boxes for managing moisture, but if its chemical makeup is toxic, it could be doing more harm than good. What it's made of matters just as much as what it does.
So where do we go from here? This is where it gets really exciting. The science is moving way beyond just creating the perfect passive environment. The next generation of dressings won't just cover wounds, they're going to actively help regenerate them.
We're talking about some serious next-level stuff. Imagine bioactive dressings that act like tiny pharmacists, slowly releasing medicine or growth factors right into the wound. Or bioengineered skin, where doctors can literally grow a new patch of skin from your own cells. And maybe coolest of all are smart dressings, bandages with tiny sensors that can detect an infection and send an alert right to your phone. It's absolutely incredible.
So, from a simple piece of cloth to a smart, bioactive device, the journey of the wound dressing is pretty amazing. It's a story of debunking old myths, mastering that delicate Goldilocks balance, and making sure that the things we use to help don't actually end up harming. So the next time you grab a bandage, remember all the incredible science that's packed into that tiny square. You're not just covering a wound, you're using a piece of sophisticated medical technology that's getting smarter all the time.